The state of Texas has officially banned vaccine mandates from being imposed by any employer in the state. That's right. In this video, we're going to take a look at the sweeping executive order that was just signed by Governor Gregg Abbott. We're going to see how it's all part of the wider trend of sanctuary states rising up against the Bumblin Biden regime. And stick with me to the very end of this video when we'll see how the far left is panicking over the realization that red states are rising up and taking the nation back like never before. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your daily fake news antidote, offering patriotic analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we begin, are you looking to get a loan but don't quite know which personal loan to get for your own situation? Well, that's where our sponsors Zippy Loan come in to help. Zippy Loan offers an expansive network of lenders that provides you with premium access to the personal loans you need. All you got to do is just click on that link below and you can get up to $15,000 directly deposited in your bank account as soon as the next day. Give them a try by clicking on the link below or go to getazippyloan.com. That's getazippyloan.com. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. The amazing free state of Texas does it again. Just hours ago, Governor Gregg Abbott signed an executive order banning any and all private businesses from issuing vaccine mandates on their employees or their customers. Now, if you don't know, this is an expansion of a previous executive order that Abbott signed that prohibited all state agencies, all government institutions, from requiring employees to get vaccinated. The new executive order, again signed just hours ago, is radically sweeping in its scope in that it now includes any and all private businesses in Texas. It explicitly bans, quote, any entity in the state from enforcing a vaccine mandate of any kind. The order states, quote, no entity in Texas can compel receipt of a COVID-19 vaccine by any individual, including an employee or a consumer, who objects to such vaccination for any reason of personal conscience based on a religious belief or for medical reasons, including prior recovery from COVID-19. I hereby suspend all relevant statutes to the extent necessary to enforce this prohibition. And Abbott is now calling on the Texas legislature to pass a law that would make the executive order a permanent fixture in the state of Texas and make Texas an official sanctuary state, a state that has effectively set up an administrative and legal wall to protect its citizens from the radical abuses of power by the Bumblin Biden regime. Abbott cited Biden's recent edict mandating vaccinations for businesses with 100 or more workers nationwide, and he called it, quote, yet another instance of federal overreach, which requires the response of Abbott's executive order, an order that defies and effectively reverses the directive within Texas. So this is a very bold move by Governor Abbott, and he noted that it was necessary, not just given the federal government's overreach with Biden's edict, but also in terms of the way such an edict could disrupt hospitals and law enforcement agencies, because so many, as you know, healthcare staff, law enforcement officers, other essential workers, they've been resigning en masse throughout the nation in protest against these vaccine mandates. So this is a brilliant executive order by Abbott in the state of Texas, no question. Now, as I just mentioned, what Abbott is doing here in Texas is part of a much larger trend that's surged over the last several months, and that's what we've been calling the rise of sanctuary states. Now, these are solid red states, conservative states, that are passing laws and signing executive orders to protect their citizens from the swamp creatures in D.C. So right now as we speak, there are 20 states that prohibit vax mandates or proof of vaccination on status for their citizens. In 11 states, governors ban proof of vaccination requirements through executive orders, just like we saw in Texas as of yesterday. In 9 states, legislators passed laws banning proof of vaccination requirements. So they're becoming permanent fixtures in the legal codes of those states. And what we're seeing here is we're effectively seeing, in many respects, a very real kind of informal secession happening as we speak. That's precisely how the far leftists over at Salon are interpreting all of this. Look at their headline. A new confederacy Trump and the Republicans have already seceded. And the byline reads, now they're preparing to fight a new civil war. In fact, they're already doing it all but name. Now, I may devote a separate video to this article because I think it's very interesting. Let me know in the comments section below if you'd like to see that. But for our purposes now, it's clear that these leftists who are all for vax mandates and for the whole get jabbed or lose your job tyranny, it's pretty clear that they're panicked. They never imagined that red states would actually rise up and basically, in effect, secede from the Bumblin Biden regime through enacting all these laws that deliberately repel the federal government's overreach. In other words, the left is seeing what just happened in Texas as part of a much larger picture of a patriot-dominated state, states that voted for Trump and the MAGA movement by huge numbers. They're seeing Texas as part of a much larger picture of those states telling the Biden regime and blue states to shove it. An increasing number of red states are telling the Bumblin Biden regime to let's go, Brandon, okay? We're not even considering you a part of our political and cultural life from this point forward. We've had it with you. And what's so fascinating for me when I'm reading this stuff is that these leftists don't see. They're actually blind to the fact. They're so upset with these red states doing to them what the Biden regime is doing to us. Red states are increasingly governing with a complete political disregard to the sentiments of the left in a manner comparable to the way Biden's vax mandates completely disregard the sentiments of patriots on the right. So the partisan blindness in this article is glaring for sure, but the bottom line is this. If you want to see the world as leftists do, okay, this is how this leftist who writes for Salon is seeing things. You ready? 19 states have enacted laws that have made it harder for people to vote. I mean, again, keep in mind this is how the left sees election integrity laws, right? But regardless, 15 states have radically reduced the ability to even apply for a mail-in ballot. 4 states have gotten rid of drop boxes. 8 states have imposed draconian voter ID requirements. 19 states have enacted a total of 106 new laws restricting a woman's reproductive right to an abortion. 12 states have enacted outright abortion bans. 25 states require a 24 to 48-hour waiting period. 12 states have still refused to enact Obamacare requirements. Dozens and dozens of states have become Second Amendment sanctuaries. And now, on top of all that, we got 20 states who are refusing to enact or enforce Biden's vax mandates on companies with 100 or more employees. So what this leftist article concludes, when all said and done, is that we are increasingly becoming countries within a country, or nations within a nation, where more and more states are basically declaring their independence from our federal government as long as it's run by an incompetent and bumbling regime like that of Sleepy Joe. And again, keep in mind, these same leftists over at Salon, they had no problem with sanctuary cities. You remember that? They had no problem whatsoever with sanctuary cities aiding and abetting illegal immigrants during the Trump administration. In fact, they excoriated Trump for even the suggestion of going after these blatantly law-breaking cities. But now, of course, that kind of open rebellion to the federal government's policies is nothing short of treasonous secession as far as they're concerned. Welcome to the wacky world of leftists. But there's little question right now that this latest move by Texas is but the latest in the escalation of tensions between red states and the Biden regime. A regime, by the way, that even the left-wing activists disguised as journalists in the mainstream media are admitting has very, very little competence. Make no mistake, sanctuary states are rising up. And those of us in blue states may need to make the move to one of these sanctuary states in the near future in order to escape the leftist insanity that continues to corrosively degenerate our culture and our politics. Many are already doing just that, which promises to ensure that the rise of patriot sanctuary states has just begun. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my video on the worldwide revolt against vax mandates. It's not just here in the United States. The world is literally exploding in a massive uprising like we've never seen. You're definitely going to want to check it out. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.